Okay, so you return from the lake and you're feasting on frog legs, and everyone is, kind of hearing everything that's going on. Now, when you get back, you start to hear, that the other expeditions weren't quite as successful as yours were. The crew that went to salvage what they could out of the ships was attacked, and one person was killed there. But the impression seems to be that if we stay out of the water there, that there's no immediate threat from that. The talk around the fire is that there's still several missing survivors that went into the woods to try and collect firewood and see what they could find in the woods that just haven't returned yet. Everybody's talking, and it's just come to the agreement that it's not safe to go into the woods looking for them at night, that anybody else that goes in there after them will probably not return. You guys noticed that the outdoorsman ranger that you guys had seen around the ships from the island that went into the woods with those survivors is nowhere to be seen as well. So you don't really know what's become of anyone. But you guys are all kind of sitting around the fire. You're doing your watch. But if you guys want to talk and do anything around the fire before you turn in, this would be that time. Since you guys do kind of all know each other, I guess, or at least have maybe had some general run-ins, but this is sort of the first time that you would have been in combat with each other, or sort of gotten the idea that maybe there's other people that might be quote unquote special, other than yourselves.
Yeah. Lindsay wants to say she's off on first watch somewhere. She's joining Discord now. I mean, I don't know what to say. We saw a frog attacking us, and we just kind of stabbed it. Yeah, that worked way better than my stabbing with it and the missing. So I could miss faster or from further away. Okay, yeah, because that sounds about right. Salt?
And Doug, you've seen him bouncing around. Well, Lindsay's on now, right?
She's messing with her sound. The Windows update screwed everything up. But mine's on speaker, so she can hear.
Okay. So you notice that he's been kind of going around and just singing the praises, but it's kind of funny because you've been noticing that that the story that keeps getting back to the group, or as you kind of hear the story again and again, is that every time you kind of hear it, all of you do a little bit less, and Siona ends up doing a little bit more. So that by the time you guys are about to head to bed and the fire is really kind of burning low, it's basically, the mighty Siona saved Doug single-handedly, and she allowed you guys to help. So the story has built and built as Doug continuously blows it a little bit out of proportion, but he's kind of shadowing her as well, in that and every time she catches him looking over his way, he kind of whistles and looks around, or tries to help out with whatever he's doing, but he's definitely sort of infatuated with this person who saved him. But the fire burns low, and night comes, and there's several campfires along the beach, but not too close to the water, not too close to the woods. And it burns down, and people start turning in, and there's kind of the celebratory we made it. You hear Raz carrying on with some of the crew and the pirates, singing sea shanties, or really singing songs about that, come up with a whole bunch of unique rhymes for the word toad, way into the night, longer than you guys are definitely up. When you wake up at first light, some people are kind of gathering water, some people are kind of stoking the fires, and some people are gathering sticks or swords or whatever they have to kind of head into the woods. But there's not it's not as many volunteers as you thought there'd be, which you think might be slated, because of the band of the people, the missing survivors that went into the woods. There's more danger today than there was yesterday, and so there's not as many people willing to kind of risk themselves into the woods. But the general call comes up to, hey, we need some people to help us out, and find out who wants to go into the woods and try and find what there is there, and maybe look for the missing survivors. Doug, of course, volunteers to lead the expedition.
Well, seeing as how going out in the woods seems easier than doing chores, I'll volunteer for said mission.
I don't know. Doug might be weirding me out by this point.
He got a crush on you.
That's why he's named Doug.
Doug the Expendable.
But you did wake up, Siona, and find that your sword and your armor that was near you while you were sleeping has been freshly polished, and everything put in order by you.
Oh my god. It's okay.
Make sure that gets into the notes so we can put it into the wiki.
Poor Doug.
All right, so Corin and Siona and Quinn are roused and volunteer with the brigade. You try and get Raz, or at least you don't really try. I mean, you guys aren't infinitely close at the moment, but you do, look around to kind of see where he is, and he's over with some of the other crew from the ships that have been carrying on into the night, and they're just still kind of hungover and still sleeping, and you're not really able to get him roused for this. He doesn't strike you as kind of the first light type of guy.
But I am able to untune his lute.
All right, so the three of you and Hoot Hoot.
I feel like I went early morning fishing and then dumped a bunch of fish in Corin's area for him to clean before I left. He can make breakfast for the encampees.
You know I slept till 10 o'clock, don't you?
You.
Hold on one second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's no microphone this way, is there?
We can't hear you other than that question you just asked. I heard him ask the question, but other than that.
Or you could hear me that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
If it gets hard to hear me, let me know. I'm taking my mic off for a minute so that one of the eavesdroppers can sit here quietly and listen. Okay, so the three of you plus Hoot Hoot gear up to head in. And one of you notice falling into the ranks of the volunteers is what appears to be, a little kid in well-formed plate armor carrying a sword, because he's got his helmet and mask down and is, falling in with the crowd. There's about five of the sailor crew, because most of the people, that were on these ships weren't really fighters or, soldiers. They're mostly just kind of villagers and hithertos. So you got 4 or 5. You've got 5 villagers plus a little kid in full armor and the 3 people that you're sort of aware of.
Well, which way do we go?
Are we familiar with gnomes?
You could be. I mean, you might know you may have been familiar with them, but in armor with a faceplate down, it might be difficult to be able to determine
Gotcha.
a kid from a gnome.
Gotcha.
Hey, if that kid's got a set of full plate, he's more protected than we are.
I'm assuming, or heavy armor. I don't know what kind of armor it is. It's just armor. I don't know. I don't know what Gabe's character sheet looks like, what kind of armor he's wearing.
I'm not wearing full plate. Probably wearing light armor.
Do you have a helmet or any kind of face covering? Okay. Well, then you see. I guess if you know it's a gnome, then you see a gnome. If you don't know it's a gnome, then
I'm usually mistaken as a kid. That's, I'm a young gnome. Although gnomes live for 300 years, so young being 40.
okay. Well, then there just looks like there's a little kid. I guess describe yourself, Gabe. What you think you would look like.
I don't know, 3 to 4 feet tall, so 3.5 feet tall. Just thinner, pointy ears, right? Yeah. And just usually mingling amongst the children of or the wounded, just kind of being helpful and lifting people's spirits.
Are you carrying like shield and sword, or what kind of weapons do you carry normally?
I'm still trying to figure that out. For the most part, I'm carrying my holy symbol. I guess I have a shield. Leather, wearing, I guess, leathers. That's about, yeah, and a robe, which looks funny on a short person. I'm Eldon. Well, young youth is relative in this world. I'm older than most the men in this the human men.
I'm 120
So,
years
Gabe,
old. Damn it! No.
Oh, is this all elves? Still catching up. Okay.
Yeah, Doug's the leader.
I think I tended to Doug's skin earlier.
Lady Siona, if you're ready, we shall venture into the forest, and I suppose you all can come as well.
All right.
You're gonna make me not want to sneak in jokes. To the woods. So you venture in, and I'd say you're 10 15 minutes in. You don't really see anything, and you hear the normal kind of wood sounds. You might see a deer or so dart between the woods. It's very dense forest. The trees are not in any planted patterns, so there's not a lot of long rows to look down, and you can see fairly. I mean, it's light enough. Enough light is coming in above you that you're able to see fairly easily, but the denseness of the forest makes it difficult to see distance, just because you're always sort of looking around a tree or, looking there. And so, it's as you walk, you see movement here or movement there, kind of off to the in any direction. This kind of keeps you all kind of on your toes. You notice some of the trees, lower on them have kind of gouges out of them, but you're able. Let's see. Has anyone got tracking, or I guess if not, we can do a perception.
I have survival.
That's why I was trying to think of what would, tracking.
Usually survival
Footprint.
is active things and nature is passive.
What would footprints, like if you're trying to track the party that went in yesterday? It'd be kind of a perception, I guess, right?
I would probably say tracking is more nature or survival. Probably nature.
It says survival is tracking. Nature is more, what is in the area.
I'll say, yeah, Quinn and Siona can kind of see. I mean, every so often you catch a glimpse of it, but you can't fully see where. You can't anticipate the trail, but you can kind of see pieces of it so often. Eldon is a little bit more. He can kind of gain a little bit of directionality from it, or get a little bit more predictive ability. But you're still having to go kind of slowly to track track through. But you get, you start to be able to follow the trail of these. And you get to somewhat of a clearing, and you immediately realize that you found where the survivors got to. There's a lot of tore up dirt and matted in ground, and there's what you think is blood on the ground, and there's maybe a spear or two dropped as well. And you can tell that this is probably where something happened.
Yeah, you're supposed to just say what you want to do, and he'll tell you what the roll. But I want to grab a spear and hold on to it.
You do that. Do you have to have say aptitude, but do you have to have, like, a spear is probably one of those things that everybody can use, right?
I was just going to say I loot the spears.
I just want to pick it up and have it handy, and even if I don't use it as a weapon.
All right, roll a perception, Adam. Let's see what you see. Siona and Corin pick up the two spears, and you can tell that you can see blood on one of the spears, and it appears to be dried, so it's at least a little bit old. Quinn, you look around, and you're able to kind of see sort of the same thing, that you can tell that some kind of battle occurred here, and you can kind of see drag marks or something off into a direction, but you can't tell much more. But if you want to try to follow the trail a little, you might see something more. In case you're forgetting, wizard, I don't take orders from you, and it would be not chivalrous if I was to leave fair Lady Siona unprotected with you vagabonds.
I try not to laugh. I fail.
I'm just watching to see what happens.
Roll an intimidation. Yeah, you jab him in the chest and try and kind of bow up, but it really is, like 110-pound guy in robes bowing up. You have to push up your spectacles. Yeah, I think you should maybe go into the woods. Yeah, So he says, "Well, I'm not going to take this from you," and he, heads off in the direction of the drag marks.
I yell out, "Oh my God, is that a giant toad outbound those drag marks?"
So he gets, you see him around a tree or two, and then he takes kind of a left off one, and you lose sight of him. And a minute or two goes by, and you don't see him coming back.
Well, I guess that problem's solved.
I'm going to kind of follow behind him, maybe like wait until he walks 15, 20 steps away and then just start following him. Just to keep an eye out. He's so naive and...
Looks like someone's got a crush back.
Totally, I'm all about Doug.
So you get a few feet ahead, and you round the corner, and the brush gets a little thicker, but you kind of lose Doug's trail, and you're kind of looking around. Siona and everybody else is kind of close behind. Some of the other villagers took the opportunity to, under the guise of exploring the clearing back there, to kind of hang back. So it's really just kind of the three of you looking for Doug or the four of you looking for Doug at the moment.
Can we still see the villagers?
No, I mean, you've gone maybe 100 yards, something like that. You're not terribly far from it. So if you yelled, you could probably hear them. But it's just you've had to weave between trees, kind of following Doug's trail. So you just can't see the clearing directly.
I'm just going to kind of go back to them and maybe you guys should go back home. Or if you're not going to go home, at least stay here. Don't go wandering off without us.
We'll say you're the last one to leave the clearing, and you kind of stay here, and so the rest of them kind of do that.
I don't want them wandering off and us having to save them. What time is it? Noon? 1? Evening?
10?
It's probably like 10, 11 in the morning. I mean, it's early.
Yeah, I'm barely awake. What's going on here? All right, fearless leader, what are we doing now?
Can I not track his footprints or broken branches or anything?
Why are you pointing at your screen instead of saying anything?
Oh, sorry.
All right, this is when I come out of the woods, out of the shaking bush that you were supposed to look into, with Doug, with my hand around his mouth, and slightly whisper to the rest of you, are you idiots trying to alert yourself to everything in the forest? The shaking bush that Doug got drug into. Why weren't you listening?
Because, yeah, we were looking for one, and the Almighty didn't say there was one.
That's on me. Sorry. But that's sort of where the trail ends.
Why exactly are you falling out here kidnapping Doug?
What did Doug do to you?
Look, we all agree no one likes Doug.
Someone's jealous.
I don't know, Doug. I just healed him.
No, I'm not kidnapping Doug. I'm trying to stop Doug from running headfirst into a group of wild boars.
Unhand.
There are wild boars.
Yes.
Your
So
mouth's
Doug
moving.
kind of uncovers his mouth, and he's kind of shaken from the basically getting ambushed. I don't appreciate that at all. But I didn't see any boars. I didn't see any sign of anything.
Well, you definitely weren't looking very hard.
I mean, you did miss the giant toad. Until you tripped and fell in its mouth.
Did you see anyone else?
Fall into a giant toad mouth? No, just you.
That is all that is left of the other villagers, the other survivors that came out. The survivors have not survived. There were 3 others. I really didn't come out here with them, but we were out here at the same time. And I stumbled upon just the very end of it.
And what happened? Do you know what killed them?
Are they dead?
Yes, they were killed by the pack of boars with the one large leader.
And does it look delicious?
The pack was the one large one with let's see the one large one, and then the pack was 4 or 5, so 6 in total. That away.
All right, well, I think mission accomplished. We should swing back by our other villagers and head on back home.
But we can't. We have to try and save them. They may not be dead. Besides, how are we going to clear these woods if this band of boars, controls it? We need these woods to survive. This is where we're going to build our town. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, how are we going to safely send more people in here? We're here. We defeated the toad.
I'm going to go ahead and say that there's probably more than 6 boars in this forest, and killing this little pack ain't going to do much to stop that. Can y'all hear me? I'm having Lindsay keeps saying she can't hear half of what I'm saying.
Oh, well, that doesn't help. I wonder if I've been losing some things that Will said. Test, test, test.
I hear you.
I hear you.
You're right. You're right, wizard. It was mostly Lady Siona that defeated the toad, but I figured I would allow you some credit. I mean, if we don't defeat these boars, who else will?
I'm pretty sure the next hunting party will. They're boars.
The one large one was particularly nasty. I don't know that a standard hunting party. I mean, I was scared to take it on myself, so the standard hunting party may not be able to do much more. And I mean, I'm a pretty experienced hunter on my own, so. Zados. Side taking out some of us one by one.
All I heard was take us out one by one.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What I was saying was that I'm a little concerned. This is not a standard group of boars. This is not something that we would go out and kill for just standard food for the group. There's something else going on with the big boar in particular. I mean, I'm an experienced hunter, and this was not something that I wanted to take on by myself. This was, I didn't think that I could rescue the killed villagers on my own.
Does it pose a danger to our people?
Yes, it does.
As we're talking, can I just be like, hey, let's wander back towards the people.
There is something going on with all of us tonight, cutting out of our speeches.
I wonder if the Discord is acting up.
Because I heard Lindsay talking, and then I only started hearing her talk from next to me.
Fortify our position. Protect the children and small people. The children?
They shouldn't have come along.
Especially the children.
All right, so you guys heading back to the clearing?
I say, yeah, Zatos, do you think those things are near us right now?
As I was tracking them earlier, they were close. They have only just.
All I heard was they only just.
Did anybody else catch all of that? Weird.
I'm searching for Discord cutting out.
Adam, I got about the first 2 seconds of that.
Same here.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
it literally it's cutting out mid-sentence.
As close as they are, you don't think we should maybe go ahead and try them now?
Are they going to become aware of our movement? Or even our voices?
Well, we can't even hear our voices. How are they going to do it?
I think so. I mean, they haven't seen people around these parts for a while, and now they've killed 3, and I think they're going to have the taste for blood.
Are they feeding now, or do we have the element of surprise?
Well, we don't know where they're at.
Are you guys heading back to the clearing?
Yes. I am.
I'm going to follow the warrior. Is that anybody saying anything?
Oh, sorry. I was trying to find something real quick.
I'm just making sure. It's hard to tell if no one's speaking or if we're just not hearing you speak right now.
Try and find the villagers that you'd left behind. When you basically sort of come out through the trees, you notice that one of the villagers' body is dead, and you don't see any of the rest of them. And in the clearing, while you were gone, there's a large pack of boars. There is a extremely large boar that appears to be sort of the alpha, that is very much different than the other boars. I feel like this music needs to be a little more adventurous. The only thing I can't see on this is who's who in the turn order, but that's fine.
You just hover over it, it lights up that person. But yeah, I think there was some setting you could do.
I think you had to go add a custom label, I think was all it was. Yeah,
just click on your... Go ahead.
No, just click on yourself in the turn order and add a custom label. That music volume's too loud. I turned it down a little bit. All right, Zatos, fittingly enough, you come into the clearing, and as the ranger, have first action. You would have spotted the boars and everything the earliest.
Out of character, since I'm still new and this is gonna be my first battle, is there any way I can go second? I can't really tell you that I know what to do, so.
I think you can hold your action for based on certain things.
I mean, we can, if you and Corin want to flip flop. Corin, you want to take a 22?
Sure.
All right, just edit yours to be flip flopped.
All right. So how big is that rock?
It's fairly large, but it's not so tall that you can't see over it.
Okay,
it's larger than it is tall.
So it's just like a flat shelf kind of thing.
Sort of. This rock up here is higher, and then these other ones are just sort of maybe. I mean, for Eldon, it would probably be taller than him, but for you, it's probably waist, chest high, sort of. But I guess if you were on it, you'd probably have advantage. But it's not so tall that you can't see over it. So you can see at least some of the boars from where you're standing.
All right. What about these? Are these trees or bushes?
We'll say since it's a clearing that they're kind of shrubbery.
All right. Okay, so I am going to move to there once I get off ruler. And then, as I usually do, I'm going to cast Grease on the big guy. On those 4 spells to kind of get him, to get part of him and to keep him in between me and him.
So it's your dexterity? I forget how we did this.
He's got to roll a dexterity check against my spell DC of 14.
Oh, okay, hold on. Let's see if I've got this hooked up. So he would have avoided it, right?
He avoids it, but it's still going to cost him extra movement speed to get through it.
Gotcha.
So basically, I'm guessing because this is also shrubbery, it's hard to move through, so there's no clear path between him and me.
Now, when you cast it, let's see, standing in the area, creature enters or ends its turn. So if I'm already in it, I don't have to do it next turn, but if I end in there, I do.
Correct. Or if you enter it. So I guess once you're in it, you're fine until you leave or end. So I still have 10 movement left, so I'm going to draw more squares. Move just back a little bit. Yes, the grease is there for 10 turns. And basically now, if you're moving through it and you don't fall down, it takes 1 extra movement per square to go through. Or for every foot you move, it costs an extra foot. So because they're 5-foot squares, it takes 10 movement to get through it.
All right. I'll rotate. All right, Zados. Yours. Just ask any questions you have, man. I'm sure Gabe's going to be in a similar boat. Just kind of, we'll get through it.
Okay. The trees, the shrubbery here. Is it
Difficult terrain to get through, but not untravelable. So it'll slow you. What's that? Double movement? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's for every foot costs an extra foot.
okay? And is it taller that we can see over? Out of character. I mean, I'm trying to, line of sight stuff. I'm just trying to figure out what I can see and what I can't.
It's all probably waist high, somewhere in there. You can see over all this stuff because I mean it's a clearing to where you can pretty much see everything, but you might not necessarily be able to see, all the smaller boars from a distance because they are about the same height. You can see if you can see them farther away, you can like.
I can see the two to the right of the big boar because of line of sight.
You could probably see those two clearly. You can probably see this one. And then this one's probably hidden. This one you might be able to see because he's a little farther back. And you could probably not see that one. If that makes sense.
Is the big boar tall enough to see?
Yes, he's as tall as you guys are, so you can see him
Okay.
no matter where he is.
Okay. In order to try to get around to see a little better, I'm going to move up this way and around. Try to move stealthily around this bush. Maybe bent down a little bit, trying to hide behind it.
Are you just moving, or do you want to actually move stealth? You are not very sneaky.
You would have been with advantage, though. Rolled a 1 and a 20. Like, that's a natural 1.
Okay,
So
so I
you-
tripped on the bush. What's your point?
Yeah, you duck down, and you're fairly nonchalant. I mean, you're pretty. You're doing the waddle and everything's there. The problem the whole time is you're going sneaky. Still cutting out.
Yeah, I keep seeing lag spikes on mine, but not that time.
I don't know who's the host of this.
Discord is.
Yeah, it hasn't been very good today. Yeah, you sneak a little bit and then kind of trip and roll, but don't injure yourself or lose any movement. But it's, you kind of stumble your way over to the spot. They definitely know you're there.
Yeah. I'm going to try to change the server region to US East, see if that fixes things.
Any better?
I mean, it seems to be come and go, so we'll have to keep playing and see if it cuts out.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, you are are not particularly sneaky, but you don't incur any penalties as a result of your sneakiness. But the boars definitely hear you.
Okay, I mean, I gotta ask, do I do something else now, or?
So you get a move and an action. So you've moved to where you are. You can basically do your attack roll or whatever else you want to do.
Okay.
You can use a skill, or you can use, or you can use a basic attack or one of your actual attacks, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Let's go ahead and take a shot at this first one.
So if you've got everything in your character sheet, then you should just be able to click the thing you want to do. Okay, so
Yep, I clicked on the wrong button. I got it that time. I think I did.
you're there. Hold on, I just gotta make sure which one that is.
At least you didn't shoot yourself in the foot after that stealth roll.
Nah, just gotta get the bad rolls, get the bad one out of the way first.
Okay, so that's against AC, right? So you hit.
So if you click where it says longbow +5 on that window, it'll give you a damage roll. No,
Just
chat.
click the word longbow.
Yeah.
In
chat.
in the chat window.
Hold on, sorry.
All right. So we've been it's something we've been doing. You're welcome to take it or not. When you do a hit, you're welcome to role play out the action if you want.
Well, shouldn't you tell them what effect it has?
Oh, I said a hit. Sorry, did that not cut out?
I mean, did it hit and kill it? Did it hit? And...
Oh no, it hit. It does a good amount of damage, but it's definitely he's still up.
Because that helps with the flourishing too.
No, I'm not gonna play it. I mean, I shot it and hit it.
So yeah, you launch an arrow. It's embedded in it. Deep into it. He kind of lets out a squeal, but is still up. Let me adjust the hit points real quick. Quinn. Oh, I forgot to add Doug. All right, well,
I was hoping he was the guy on the ground.
Doug's hanging back behind you guys. He may swoop in here and save the day, but at the moment he's behind you. Yes, that's against AC, right? Yep, that hits. Wait, which one are you attacking again? Sorry, the big one? All right, let me double check. I'm sure 22 does, though. Yeah, you're good. That hits him. He's still, he's still looking good, but you definitely hurt him. No, I can hear you. I just giving you a thumbs up. All right, so giant boar's turn here. Hold on. I was reading one thing about it. Try and make sure I give you guys a fair thing. All right, so he's going to move. And so, Will, you'll have to help me. So this, if I'm moving through this, how many feet of this is difficult terrain?
All the ones with the blue square in it.
Well, yeah, I get that for me, but do I move through it as long as I'm in it, or just as long as the front edge of me is in it? Like, if I'm moving to the right, is this 20 difficult feet, or is it?
I would say so. That's how I cast it. I can Google.
So that would be 10 feet, even though it's 5 feet.
Yes.
And that would be 10 feet. And then I'm clear, right?
Yes. Once you're out of it, you're out of it.
So that was 20. And then that would be another 20, right? Okay, that's all he can move right now. He slip slides through the mud a little bit. Boars do appreciate sort of the mud. And then once he gets out, kind of charges towards everyone. I would imagine shooting fireballs does that.
Just a teensy bit. Quinn, I think you got its attention.
All right, Will, he's attacking you.
Which will? I guess
Will.
Zatos, sorry. That's Zatos at the top, right?
Yep.
Just as a quick aside, I Googled it, and it's basically people say if half or more of the creatures in difficult terrain, it counts as difficult terrain.
Okay.
So if it's like 9, if it's a 3x3, is if 5 tiles are difficult terrain, it would count.
So I think we did that right. All right, Will, does a 16 hit you?
Looking at armor class?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Sorry, I got to step away for just a second.
All right. When you get back, we'll do damage. All right, so these things, they don't all have. I mean, some of these character sheets, they don't all have things. So you guys tell me how I do this one. So that damage worked and hit, but that says if he moves at least 20 feet straight towards a target and then hits with a tusk attack on the same turn, the target takes an extra 1d6 slashing damage. If the target is creature, he must succeed on a DC. So he'll take 3, and then I guess I would roll 1d6, right?
What was that last part about rolling?
So he would take 3, another 3, and then he has to roll a DC 11 strength save.
Okay, so or fall down.
I'm sorry about that, guys.
No worries. So you take 6 damage, and then you have to roll a strength save.
So click on strength saving throw.
Yes. All right, you are knocked prone. So the boar gets around and then just charges straight at you, and takes a tusk swipe at you, and it catches you pretty good. It does a really good slash on you, just enough that it catches, that it kind of catches into your armor and kind of knocks you backwards onto your back. So you're prone at the moment.
Okay. What does prone mean?
On your back.
No, I know. I mean, but
it means you have to use half an action to stand up. Isn't that what it is? Or half a movement? Half your movement to stand up. And do people around you get an attack when you try to stand up?
I don't think so.
No, you're not moving out of their hitbox.
Yeah, you have to move out of reach. Standing up does not move you out of reach.
Oh, okay. Did you change your name?
Me?
yes,
No,
I changed it.
Lindsay.
I changed
No,
it.
sorry.
Yeah, I did. I changed it to how I want to spell
No, I
it.
typed my BattleNet because I was multitasking.
No worries. I was like, wait, did we change names all of a sudden?
Well, nobody else can see it but you, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, your only movement option is crawling unless you stand up. You have disadvantage on attacks, and attacks versus you have advantage if attackers within 5 creatures. Otherwise, disadvantage. So if somebody from a distance is attacking you, they have disadvantage now because you're laying down. But if anybody's right up on you, they get advantage trying to attack you. And then you can crawl, which I guess is what, half movement, I think, or quarter
Difficult.
movement.
I think it's difficult terrain.
Yeah, so you can crawl. Yeah, so you can crawl basically at half your speed. You can crawl, or you can use half your speed to stand up and then move the remaining stuff, whatever you want to do. That's how prone works.
Okay.
All right. Siona, your turn.
Can't believe you didn't think I knew what prone meant.
But what did it say? Prone's on your back?
I guess it's either or, right?
Especially face down. But yeah, it can be both.
I'm going to move up to right here. I can attack him from there, right? Because he takes up all 4 of those squares.
Yep.
Okay. And I will attack with my longsword.
You hit. And you're using a shield as well, right?
Yeah.
I guess it doesn't matter for this, but I think that's what the left
Well,
plus right is.
No,
like
there's just
it has my shield in my bags, like when I put it on my D20 character sheet, but it doesn't really show up in your attacks and spellcasting. So,
Well, I guess the weapon, when it says what's it? It's not durable, but whatever, the
versatile.
Versatile. It means if you're using a one-hand weapon, if you're using it with one hand, you basically take the left box. If you're using it with two hands, you take the right box. So I guess it's more of a personal choice. Are you holding it with a shield and a sword, or are you holding it with two hands? But then if you're using two hands, then you have to subtract the shield from your AC class.
one-handed.
Okay. It doesn't really matter for this point, but it's just something to keep in mind.
Well, if I decided to attack two-handed, but at the end of my turn pulled my shield out, is that an action or?
I think drawing is a bonus action.
I don't think you can put your shield away, pull your swing.
I would have pulled out my sword.
You mean your
attack.
first action?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could pull your sword out, attack for the. I mean, it doesn't matter here.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. So
yeah, you could draw your sword with two hands, attack, and then pull out a shield. After the movement. I mean, I would allow that. But yeah, you can't do what Will's saying. You can't put the shield away, attack, then pull the shield back out every time. But yeah, for the first attack, you definitely could do like what you were saying.
Page 146 takes one action to don or doff a shield. So you have to have multiple actions before you can do that.
So not at level 1, but we're gonna keep it, in the back of our minds. So right now I'm just attacking with sword and shield, and it'll just be one-handed.
So you slash across him, and I mean it draws blood, and he's snarls in your direction, but he's still up and going. Hoot hoot.
Hoot.
So when you're moving through the same space as a character, can you do that?
There's extra movement involved. Moving around other creatures. You can move through a non-hostile creature space. Moving through it is considered difficult terrain for you.
Oh, okay. So this boar kind of charges around this larger boar, kind of running around the end of him, kind of aiding the larger boar and trying to protect it. Siona against you.
Armor class is 18, so he hits.
I don't remember if the shield does anything.
It's just AC.
Just AC. I didn't think it slows down slashing or anything like that. So he comes up kind of underneath you, underneath your shield, and kind of catches you for a good chunk of damage.
Hang on, we're double checking to make sure my shield is taken into effect on my sheet.
Yeah, it hits her.
All right.
That was a good run. We're all going to die. You're right. There's still more boars. Hope it involves power outages. That misses.
So this one charges, gets up close, and takes a swipe at you with his tusks, but you're able to nimbly get out of the way as you had a chance to see him coming. Eldon.
Oh, fun. Hopefully my character sheet will work. I would like to cast... Where am I at? I think I did that. Are these all within 30 feet? How do I tell how far people are from me?
Okay, so in the bar on the left underneath the magnifying glass is a ruler.
Also, each square...
It'll be 6 squares. Each square is 5 feet. So if you were to move up, you could get probably everybody. But you'd have
Well,
to
I can
move.
only choose 3, so I'm only needing to get to the 3 closest to me. So here, here, and here. Does that make sense? Okay, I cast Bless. And then I think I'll move to here. So do I need to do anything else? Bless doesn't seem to have a...
If you could move next to me, that would be great.
Who is that?
That is... me.
How do I...
That would give me advantage on my attack against him, so I could sneak attack. Or it would let me sneak attack, not get down advantage.
To move here?
No, you have to be next to the guy I'm fighting.
So the 3 closest to me. So Bless
Everyone but the ranger?
everyone but the ranger. Okay.
You'd have to move right here, because you have to be standing next to the guy I'm fighting.
And I would know that I would need to move there?
Speaking as a free action.
So I want to put myself in danger with... Okay.
She's trying to get me killed.
Where was I to start with?
3 squares to the right, I believe?
So I was here.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so I bless these 3. Just don't see that. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll come up.
How long does the spell last?
Up to 1 minute. So,
All right, so it'll last for this encounter basically, and then
yeah.
every time, or is it just the first time?
Every time. It's concentration.
Oh, so as long as he's continuing to concentrate on it.
Right.
Yeah, see, I don't think so I need to move where I can concentrate. So I need to be-
Concentration means you can do it as long as if you take damage, you can lose it, yes. But you can still like attack and stuff with it.
Right. Well, my attack is ranged, so I guess my character would actually probably move to a more
Okay,
tactical position. I'm sorry.
that's fine. How did you put that spell in your spell book? Did you type it out?
Yeah.
You see the there's a chat icon, there's a newspaper, and there's an eye up top. The compendium icon.
Yeah.
You can search for the word bless, find the spell, and drag it into your spell book.
Oh, you can drag them in there?
You
Okay.
can drag weapons, equipment, all sorts of stuff, and it pre-fills out the spell card for you.
Oh, that's probably a lot faster than what I was just doing.
I know that because the first time I used this thing, I did the same thing you did.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll play with that in a second. Okay, so that's all I can do really is reposition myself and cast bless, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And apparently talk, because it's still your turn.
Oh, right, because I can talk during my turn. Go get him, guys.
So, question: when you guys were creating your classes, did you search for your class type and drag it onto your character sheet, or just fill everything in?
I filled it. I don't know if you could drag things over.
I know if you search like bard or fighter or something, it does pull up something. At least you can pull up the class, I guess. I didn't know if you could drag that in.
I didn't even think about that, actually.
I don't know if you can or not.
Create a new character real fast, and I'll play around with it. I don't want to break mine.
All right. I was just trying to make a fighter for Doug. I was going to give him an attribute. I'll make it so you can see it real quick.
I'm working on it now, so I'll let you know. What do you need to try?
I was just trying to. Let's see. I'm gonna see. Will, there you go. I'm gonna see if you can see him now.
See who?
Doug.
I don't see anyone new.
He should be in your journal.
Nope. Well, we can do this later. Let's keep
All right.
doing
Yeah,
this.
that's fine. Okay, so that's is it the bless doesn't have to. I guess that's just an automatic.
Do what?
The you don't have to hit or anything on the. You just everybody gets it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can change your spell.
Well, not everybody.
Well, everyone but the
3 important people.
Okay, I can't drag Rogue over there.
Oh, hold on. I can't. What's the icon we want to use for this? How about this one? Okay, that's right. Right, and do you get it yourself, Eldon?
I got it. What the?
It's not cast on you either, right?
No, it's just the 3 that I chose.
Okay. All right. So you've moved, you've actioned. That's it.
That should be it.
That boar runs and kind of jumps up in the air, and obviously can't get to him, but just is kind of snarling into the air at Hoot Hoot flying above him. Congratulations, we've made it through a round. Corin, your turn.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to take out my daggers and stab this guy a couple of times. Let me re-look up how to do multi-attack. Okay, so I just use my bonus action to stab with the other weapon. And what penalty? I think I have a penalty on it, though. Okay, I don't get my agility. Okay. So here's going to be my main attack. $14.
I'm the one next to you, right?
Yes.
That hits.
7 damage. Now that's only on the attack roll, not the hit roll. Not damage. That'd be an overpowered first level spell.
I was getting excited about that.
Well, it's always good to hit more.
Probably the difference between a hit and a miss, though, unless you really shank a...
Shank 2 rolls.
All right, did you say you had a second attack?
Yeah, so the 7 doesn't kill him?
No.
All right, well, let me get my second attack out.
But he is very injured.
That one just misses. Actually, that's a 6.
Wait, isn't that a dagger?
I'm trying to do it without my dexterity modifier.
Oh, you don't get... The second one doesn't get a modifier?
So that's my second one. That's the penalty for offhand attacks, is you don't get a modifier.
Okay, so the 4 is...
The 4 is the 1d20 I rolled, the 2 is my proficiency bonus, and the 3 is the 1d4 from Bless.
Oh, okay. No, you just miss.
Okay, well... I am going to risk it and move here. Risking the opportunity attack.
All right, hold on.
That misses.
Miss! Yay!
So now, if I'm understanding this correctly, that other boar to directly left of me cannot charge me because it can't run straight at me, right?
Yes, that's true.
All right, well, that ends my turn.
I suppose, yeah. I don't know if I could jump up. I suppose you could probably jump up onto the top of that rock, but I think that would probably break a charge. Or at least you'd have to roll an agility. I guess, do animals have acrobatics?
If probably just be dexterity. Probably have a 0 in it, so dexterity roll.
So I guess in theory, but he probably will not. All right. Zados. Zydos? Zados.
Zados.
Zados. Like potatoes.
All right, so I've got to use at least half of my move distance to get up.
And if you move away from him, he gets a chance to attack being adjacent to you.
Unless you disengage, which would cost your action.
Well, that doesn't sound very fun.
But you can use that to run 4 or 5 spaces away from him.
Well, it depends on what his move speed is.
Yeah, it would.
And remind me, the one I shot the first time is this one or the other one? The one down to the left?
Um,
You should have its hit point list changed. I think it's the one next to you.
I think you shot the big one, didn't you?
No,
No, I shot the little one.
Oh, then it must be
The one that was closer to me.
It must be the one next to Siona, because you actually hit him. So that's probably the one. Because Siona, your attack was against the big one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's this one right here.
Okay.
Sorry, they all moved and it got confusing.
So I want to go ahead and get up.
Is everyone using the green circle to track their hit points?
I am.
If you want to use that, well, you don't have to. It's completely optional. But if you want to put your hit points into that green circle, you can. You can keep it secret for me too if you don't want me to know.
All right, so I'm going to use half my movement to get up. And the other half to move back to here.
Hope he doesn't kill you.
Have to let the rat take a shot first.
You still want to have an attack when you get there?
Yes, but do I have to let the rat
Yeah.
take a shot at me before I move?
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? You get moved either way. It's just whether or not you move and get hit. Well, move and die. I don't know how that's going to work. All right, hold on. So it doesn't matter because every single one of the character sheets on this board is the same. But like, for some reason, I've been like, oh no, I have to go find the character sheet for the right boar and click the right attack. Like, they're all the same. I'm such a moron. All right. He misses you, probably, right?
Yep, at 13.
So you back away and he takes a swipe but doesn't hit you. And then you're able to retreat safely.
All right, let's take a shot at him.
It hits. You wound him pretty deeply, but he's still standing. Again, you launch another arrow embeds it pretty close, deep into it, but they're still standing. Corin, did you see that in your journal now?
Do what?
I just see if you saw that other character sheet in your journal. No.
I did, Doug, but I can't drag anything over to him like that, like you were saying.
I can wing it if I have to.
All right, I guess if I +5 attack and then 1d8 +3 piercing.
You can hover over it and it'll tell you he rolled a 2, and then got +3 to it.
All right, Quinn.
You get a +D4 for bless. What are all those weird spaces down the bottom? Roll big. Is it big enough?
Yes, it hits.
Link the spell. Oh, I can't even look. It's not even in the compendium.
You couldn't click the witch bolt part? But if you click the actual word witch bolt.
Yeah, I get garbage when I do it.
We'll take the 5.
There's not really a safe spot.
Is that your final answer? Okay, roll me a second attack. With disadvantage. Wait, what? No, just click the witch bolt again. Holy crap. All right. So you hit the first one, and then because they're in close proximity, it touching each other, it kind of carries into the little one next to him, who basically just kind of explodes.
Hey, I softened him up for you.
Okay. He did not much appreciate getting blasted with fire or shocked. So he's going to move this way. And we said the bushes are difficult terrain. Would maybe that be the advantage of the boars, is that the boars can move through the bushes without difficult terrain? I'm just kind of asking. Poorly designed encounter. So he's going to move.
Probably impedes the big one. Probably does not impede the small ones.
Okay, we can say that. So does he, if you're moving, so if I have to pass, if a large one, like if I was moving straight to the right and I pass Siona, does she get 2 opportunity attacks?
No, you get, each character gets 1 opportunity attack, regardless of how many people move in and out.
Even if he moves
No, like I get
her
1
twice.
If 20 characters go by me, I can attack 1 of them. You get 1 a turn.
Okay. All right, Siona, you're going to get a opportunity attack on the big guy.
It uses hold on. Basically, each character gets a reaction move, and you use it to do an opportunity attack.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can attack it as it goes by me?
Yeah, you can attack. Eldon gets an attack, and Quinn gets an attack.
No, you only get attacks if it leaves your range.
Oh, if he not when he enters?
Right.
Okay, then Siona and Eldon get a opportunity attack. It's just a basic whatever you're carrying, right?
Yeah, just a standard attack.
All right, that hits.
Can a cantrip be used as a standard attack?
I don't
think so.
Action.
I was going to say that was a crit, but I guess it wasn't, was it?
No, it'd be green.
I guess that'll be whatever weapon you're carrying, Gabe.
Okay, just a second.
But you get opportunity is advantage?
No.
Then you miss. Then you hit.
Nice.
But only for, roll me a damage.
Oh.
Actually, no, you missed. I'm going to call it that. All right, so he's going to attack Quinn. All right. Miss, move, miss. Boar number 3. Hoot Hoot being above him would not get an opportunity attack, right?
He doesn't get an attack anyways.
But he can basically execute on your behalf, right? Oh, okay. He's going to run in aid of the boar. Siona, you get an opportunity on him.
She used hers.
Oh, never mind. He just runs right by you. I guess he could have attacked. All right, he'll attack. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. Yeah.
Yeah, that hits. Yeah, I'm dead. We're unconscious.
Wait, hold on. Do you get anything as a saving throw?
No, she's not dead. She has every turn.
But I mean, with the blessing, does the bless give you anything additional to that?
It gives you advantage to saving throws. You mean on the death check?
Well, I was going to say on an attack. I guess on a defense, it doesn't give you.
No,
Not unless it was a spell where I had to make a saving throw.
just her attacks and her saving throws.
Okay, I didn't know if maybe on attack that means he rolls a disadvantage. Because it'd technically, I guess, be advantage against her save. So I didn't know if that means he would take a disadvantage attack. Okay. Well, Siona, then you get a saving throw.
I think she does it next turn.
Yeah. Yes.
So that is her turn for now, right?
Yes, I guess now she would make her death roll.
Is it best 3 out of 5?
You have to
3 deaths before 3 fails, right?
3 successes before 3 yes.
And you're saving against. Hold on.
So I just roll a 1d10?
1d20.
Oh, okay.
So 50 that succeeds. So check off a success roll on your sheet. Yeah, and that's not tied to any attributes. You don't get any kind of bonuses on it.
It's Hoot Hoot's turn. Adam, roll me a perception check for you or for Hoot Hoot. I mean, does Hoot Hoot know what you know, or does you know what Hoot Hoot knows? I mean, is he technically? He doesn't. He knows what you know, right? All right, hold on one second.
Oh, I learned something left to talk about when it's my turn.
You think that's too much? Okay. Never mind. Then do what you got to do with him. I mean, I think if you were to swoop down into the path of him, you could probably distract him enough to draw him towards you. You probably couldn't do it from 25 feet up in the air. I'm not hearing anything you're saying. Is that where you think you'd want to be? If you buzzed him, and was that where you'd want to end up? What's this square right here? If you buzzed here and then maybe went this direction, but they would be able, I guess, to make an attack against you if they caught you, right? Or are you buzzing and staying high enough away? Yes, but the next attack or their next turn, if they were to be distracted and come towards you, would you be in their range, I guess, to hit? But that's just like another ritual, I guess, to bring him back if he does. Yeah, okay. Let's somewhere down. I guess maybe this hit that square, and then whatever your distance south is, or maybe perched on the rock, and then hooting wildly. Um, yeah, let's try. I don't know what that would be. Not an intimidation, right? It'd be a charisma check, whatever it is. Deception, intimidation, performance, persuasion, one of those. So give me 2 charisma checks. Or just one. One that'll work. Just one charisma roll. All right, let's try 2 charisma rolls. Okay. All right. Is that your turn?
Obviously not very hard.
Sorry, I had a boar in the initiative that was dead. Sorry. This boar is going to attempt to protect and charge the person who's been attacking. So he's going to run. To there, but that'll get Eldon an opportunity attack.
Okay. So wing
This
and a miss.
again. In your defense, martial arts are not your strength.
Not really.
He's going to take a swipe at you, Quinn. I think that's going to hit, right?
Not with thaumaturgy. Thaumaturgy.
Sorry. That wasn't meant to go out there.
Five damage.
No, you have to roll a check, I believe.
Yeah.
Like a roll something. Hold on, I'm checking.
Trying to see.
Right. Make
Make a Constitution save. DC 8 plus damage taken to maintain concentration. So 13.
But you get a +4 for bless.
He's
correct?
not gonna get above 13 though with the +4.
Yeah. Okay.
But to be fair, isn't that a cantrip?
All right, Eldon, take another hit. Try again.
Try again. Sorry, I gotta bring my character sheet back up.
Hasn't he started to use his reaction?
He's just like swinging away.
It's fine. Ash doesn't care. I think we should just get all the reactions every time. Then I could have hit that other boar.
Did I actually hit this time?
You did. We'll say it only counts if you hit. So misses don't affect count. No, we'll figure it out.
There's got to be a lot of fudging soon.
We're just homebrewing.
Hey,
It's fine.
It's my turn next, so who knows?
Hopefully healing spells no.
All right, so he is going to attack Zatos.
Oh, did I hit it, by the way?
You did.
Oh, so I smacked its butt on its way by, and I did damage.
You did 4. Yeah. So he's going to hit Zatos.
Yep.
The problem with this app is that you can't roll behind a screen.
You can. You can probably whisper yourself a roll or something. GM roll. Like /GM roll.
But you still have to know, I guess, what the... Yeah, I could probably do that. All right, 6 damage.
Seems like a lot.
So at what point does Gandalf come in and save us?
Gandug.
This might be the rogue's cue to exit.
Does that hit you? I mean, the 6 damage to you, Zatos.
I think I'm barely hanging on.
Hi, Eldon.
Did you get that message?
All right. Hold on.
Which one did I hit?
This one.
Oh,
The bottom one of the two.
Okay. I think. Okay, so an act of. Nah. Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to move to here and cast cantrip. On the big one, the big guy.
Well, now if I rolled a GM roll, and now like it legitimately missed, but you won't know that for sure or not. But it did. I don't know. It said dexterity save, so I rolled against that.
Yeah, Sacred Flame would be you I'll redo it with the.
So it's just a 1d8 damage, not 1d8 plus anything.
Yeah, it's 1d8 damage.
But then that means it's a crit. Crit has some kind of a thing, right?
Spell can't crit.
Oh, spells can't crit?
Well, he didn't make an attack roll.
So he cast the spell. I fail the save. I take the damage, but because it's a crit that he didn't attack, there is no crit.
Did you roll a 1?
I rolled under a 13.
That just means you get it's save for no damage. So if you would have saved,
I would have taken nothing. But the fact that he rolled an 8 on a 1d8 doesn't really mean anything. But if it was
just did full damage.
If it was a sword and it was 1d8, then he would probably take additional or whatever, right?
No, the crit happens on the attack roll. You got to roll a natural 20.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
So he just did real good damage.
I was just surprised that it was green. I was like, oh, what does that mean?
It's not great on mine.
Oh,
If I hover over it, it's green.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I didn't know what that meant.
I think so too.
Okay. He's not dead, but he's looking really haggard. You can tell he's on death's door. Legitimately, no DM fudging.
Okay.
So you've moved and attacked, right?
Yeah, sorry.
The sacred flame it's just what's one target, right?
Right. Yeah. Just for reference, I'm gonna just cast it again because I just turned on the text for it. I call down a flame onto there. Does that show?
Yeah, I can see that. No benefit from cover. That's interesting. So it's like divine flame.
Right.
All right. Well, you hit him. Do you want to do any flourish?
Yeah.
What is your god's name? Do you have one?
I'm still getting there.
No, it's fine. I just I was just wondering if you, as a cleric, if you're sort of all your attacks are in your god's name, or
Yeah, kind of.
the power of Christ compels you.
Yeah, exactly. I call on the Lord to shower my enemy with fire and light to smite them back from whence they came. That's funny. I have a character named Smiter in a different game.
All right. Let's see. So this guy's turn. He's going to disappear into the brush, so you don't see him, but he's in there. You hear rustling, but you can't see him. I guess I could hide him, but that's not a lot of work. All right, Corin.
All right. Well, choices. How's the big guy looking?
Pretty bad.
And he's lit up.
All right. Well, I guess go big or go home, because I can't outrun them and flee like I want to. I am going to move there. Listen to our cats fight. And I'm going to attack the big guy. Well, that hits. For 9. Now we're going to die the little guys, but kill the big one.
Yes.
All right, and then I'm going to use my offhand attack to attack this guy.
The only thing I don't like about this game is when something gets to like the edge, it doesn't adjust very well.
What, like 1 hit point?
No, like if you're zoomed in and then you try to like use one of the menus or something, it'll like cut off basically the half of the menu that's just off the page. Like I have to zoom out on these a lot to get to the full menu of the little toggle wheels.
I was rolling his Doug. So I guess that second attack also hits with a 16.
Which one?
Attacking this guy.
Yes.
For 1. Now I get 1 of those a turn. I'm pretty sure it's got like my first attack. I don't think I can save it.
Ugh. Hold on. Okay. So you run in screaming, crazy screams. Oh, I can hide that menu. Oh, that's so useful. And just dagger it between the eyes of the big guy who just collapses at your feet. And then while you've got the left dagger in there, you pull out the other one and bring it down into the head of the one in front of you, and it dies as well. The death screams of those two, especially with the big one, sends the other boars scattering. Basically, that you killed basically their dominant alpha male, and so they want nothing else to do with you. We can keep going and you can chase them and kill them, or do you want to just let them bail?
Well, I'm going to take when this one right here leaves, I'm going to, opportunity attack.
We can do whatever one you want.
Because I like pork.
All right. Well then, let's see. Hold on. Well then, I guess we can keep going, and I'll have them run on their turns. Satos, it's your turn.
All right, the one below me has not really been damaged.
Isn't that the one that I hit in the butt as it ran by?
Yep, it was. Yep, I think you did 4 damage to it. And then all right, let's just go ahead and try to shoot it.
Which one? The one right next to you?
Yeah, the one below me.
There's no penalty for shooting an arrow point blank, is there? I'm just asking. I don't know. Well, roll. It'll tell me what the when you roll your attack. No, I think you're okay. But you miss. How's the
All right.
advantage? The
I guess I don't
advantage.
wanna-
I was just say, how's the advantage roll less than the disadvantage roll? That's kind of odd. I thought it always put the lower number on the left.
No, it rolls twice. First roll left, second roll right.
And then if you're doing advantage, you take the
Take the biggest for advantage.
biggest.
Yeah. Just always ignore the right one unless you have advantage or disadvantage.
All right, and I guess since I don't want to give them the opportunity to, since I don't want to give that one the opportunity to attack, I guess I need to stay where I am. And end my turn.
Quinn, your turn.
It's a very musical firebolt. What is up with the natural 1 and natural 20s people keep rolling? I'm gonna roll another 1. I think usually the rolls natural 1s always miss, as written. Just like natural 20s always hit. We should look out for the forest fire you just created with that 1.
Grass fire.
All right, he's gonna run. But he's also still angered by Hoot Hoot. Well, no, he's just gonna run. He's gonna take off.
Which one?
The one that was
That's the one
to
that was
your
up and to the
upper right diagonal.
Gotcha. Still unconscious, but not dead.
Are you still hooting wildly? Do you want to move or anything? He's going to attempt to leave, but his leaving will draw 2 opportunity attacks as a last bastion. So 1 from Korn and 1 from Zatos. And you get advantage on that because you're next to another guy, right? Or is that
I
only
don't
for
think
sneak
so.
attacks?
It gives me sneak attacks. Advantage means he's got to help me. Does a 9 hit?
No, it does not.
Then I don't hit him.
And then I roll.
Yes, sir. That hits.
You cannot sneak attack with or you cannot opportunity with a ranged weapon.
And that kills him.
Wait, what did Corn say?
It's got a band melee attack, but you could just shoot him when he leaves too. He's not going to get out of range of that weapon.
I mean, I can hit him with my sword.
You can't change
I do.
weapons. It takes an action. But like I said, he's gonna run, and he's still within 150 feet of your bow, so you'll just kill him. So I think it solves itself.
Oh my god, I just want to kill this guy.
Me?
No, I'm just trying to, I can't get to the X. I can't zoom out far enough. There we go. I can't even see the tokens, but I can see the X. This thing's a little janky on Chrome, I think. All right, Eldon.
Okay. As I see the battlefield getting safer, I kneel down next to Siona and cast Spare the Dying. You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which should stabilize her fight in her unconscious state.
A necromancy cantrip. That's an interesting angle.
Right. At least that's how I read it. Does that sound right?
Well, it's better than him coming in here and magically saving us all with his Doug Foo. Just throws himself in the boar's mouth and gets inside of it and chokes it to death.
All right, so that's your turn, Eldon.
Yes.
One second.
What are we doing?
Sorry, one sec. All right, so Eldon's turn goes. This boar comes sprinting out of the bushes, runs up off the screen, and then right before Corin's action, and right as that boar is basically about to burst out of the bushes, you know who comes running in from the right side, from behind you guys, just waving a sword wildly and screaming, Get back! Get back, boars! Don't worry, Lady Siona, Doug is here! And he comes running up to you, and then as the boar goes running off, he says, And there'll be more where that came from if you come back. And that will be all the boars.
No, the one that killed me got away.
There are several dead boars, but he runs up to you and drops down beside you and is trying to help you regain consciousness. He's fanning you with his hands and doing his best to attend to you.
Right, I'm gonna move there and push Doug back.
We should be pro Doug. For all you know, Doug may be in charge of everything when you leave. Or Siona may need a squire, right?
Yeah.
Squire Doug.
I think Doug's already a thing.
I need somebody to heal me. I mean, you can just follow me around with healing pots.
Pretty
on,
sure
let me
you're
see.
the only healer we have.
Hold on one second.
Great. I have no healing.
I'm a healer.
Are you sure? It seems very necro.
So add that hit points back as he runs up. Doug, as he's fanning you, reaches into his pouch and pulls out a vial of some green liquid and is kind of pouring it into your mouth as he's fanning you. And he's like, take this, it will help. And you come sputtering back to consciousness sort of as you get your 3 hit points back.
Why is there a Cupid on that bottle?
There's not. Doug does not have access to any of those. We were in a shipwreck. No.
Doug is a experienced herbalist and has spent his time off screen developing a healing potion.
He's not had time for that. You just stop.
Just for his love.
Was it in the frog's belly? I mean,
it's frog's belly fluid.
1 part frog liver, 1 part off screen leaf. He's very worried about you. So the combat ends. Dun, 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 dun.
We're level 3 now.
we kind of lived.
So yeah, legitimately, other than maybe a opportunity attack or 2, I think that was a pretty legitimate encounter. I didn't fudge any of the mechanics or numbers, so
I'm pretty sure that encounter was meant for a party a little bit higher level than us.
Blame Will. He said how many boars there were.
Thanks, Will.
Guess be glad he didn't say there were 20.
Maybe he doesn't know his numbers. Maybe there was really only 3 and he
30
doesn't know his
boars.
numbers.
No, I actually probably I tried to look this up, and it's weird because when you're looking up how to do some of these, like the boars are like 1/4, so it's like 4 boars is supposed to be like one level 1 creature, but when you factor in, I guess, multiples, that it's a little different. So there may be, I may need to take a look into the balancing a little bit going forward, but for the most part, it was supposed to be kind of a hard encounter. So, I mean, really only one of you died. I mean, 2 of you are kind of low, but I mean, if it'd gone another round or 2, I think you guys could have finished off those other ones legitimately. There were only 2 left, so I think even if they were charging and attacking, the party would have overcome it.
Well, according to what I've read about the challenge rating, a challenge rating means that a CR1 creature should make a party of 4 that's level 1 expend no more than 25% of their resources in that fight.
That's probably about right. You guys you only used 1 spell slot, Adam? Gabe maybe 2?
I used 1. Mine were cantrips. The blast was the only one that is a spell.
So after the battle, they hear the other 4 or 5 party members that were there come out from the bushes that were up or in the tree line as they kind of see the big boar die and the other boars run off into the woods. You get the impression that this was sort of this boar was really the alpha male for the area, and that the smaller boars, while a challenge, can be dealt with any standard hunting party. So they come in and they kind of see what's going on, and they're able to take their dead comrade off and maybe carry off some of the boars. I guess you guys could cut them up and take the boar meat and not have to pull the whole carcass. Or you could probably, I guess you could probably lug them all back. It'd probably take 2 or 3 of you to lug the big one. But you could probably use those spears you had to kind of put the 2 spears through the carcass, and 4 people could do that. And then you could lug the big ones back. But basically you can lug all the corpses back to the beach and follow this path that was kind of, you'd kind of followed on your way in here back.
Except
and get back to the beach.
So I don't really count.
Say what?
Except that I'm a half-size weakling that probably couldn't lift a quarter of one of those things.
You could drag one of them, I suppose.
We could make something with wood, make a litter, and you can carry me in it.
You and Hoot Hoot can split the load. So yeah, you get back to the beach, and as you're coming out from the forest line, a lot of people come running up. They immediately run up to the other civilians who are carrying the body, and the people that kind of knew this survivor, are pretty shooken up that he's there, and people kind of are asking about what happened to the others, what happened to the 3 or 4 guys that were from yesterday, and Zydos tells them that they didn't make it, and that they fought valiantly, but this large boar that you brought back basically slaughtered them or killed them in a valiant combat, and that you guys were able to avenge their deaths. You guys give them basically kind of the impression that the woods, that lumber parties, need to kind of go out with a hunter or two with them, but that the woods are pretty much safe to inhabit. And so you get the feeling that tomorrow or so the we'll be able to start mining the woods for lumber.
Gotta mine those woods.
What do you harvest? Is that the word?
I have no idea. True.
Harvest the woods for lumber.
Yes.
But by the time you do this, I mean, the time you walk out to the woods, it's a half mile in. The fight takes you longer to walk back out. You kind of get out of the woods, a little before the end of the day, with all the events of arriving back, and prepare, the boar feast that ensues. It's, well into the night, kind of before you guys really kind of get some time to yourselves. They've kind of realized now that, this group that's been kind of going out and coming back largely consists of you guys. Doug is, for some reason, having led two parties out and back, is sort of getting the respect of the people, but he defers a lot of it towards you guys and towards Siona especially, and he's kind of beside himself that his negligence kind of almost cost her life. That he said, has sort of sworn a vow to not let that happen again.
I don't feel very good about his vow.
So I guess that's kind of another, the sun sets on another day. That, you hear from around that nobody really ventured back towards the wreckage because, there's still an unclaimed body that, they haven't been able to get to. And somebody tried to kind of make it and saw that there was some kind of a creature in the water there that fended them off, and nobody really wants to head that way. So this is from the people on the beach. It was kind of an uneventful day spent kind of munching on giant toad legs and fetching water and, fetching firewoods from the perimeters of the forest.
Does that big boar have tusks?
Yeah.
I would like to cut those out, the big one, and stash them away.
They all have tusks. Yeah, they all have tusks. The larger ones are, I wouldn't say elephant-sized, but being the size that he is probably, a curved, think of a helmet with two kind of giant horns off. That's kind of the size of this one. The other ones are smaller, could make like a dagger handle or something. But yeah, if you guys want any of the particular ones, feel free to add that to your character sheet.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna grab 2 small boar tusks. I was thinking of selling the big one, but the little ones I might be able to stab things with.
All right. Well, given the time, I'm thinking this is a good wrapping it up point.
Okay.
We're usually somewhere in the 9:45 to 10:30 range, Gabe. So that's kind of the range we're aiming for. Anything after about 9:30 when we hit a stopping point is usually where we end.
Sounds good.
So how we doing on XP?
We're doing pretty good. We'll probably level up pretty soon. I'm not actually tracking it. I'm just kind of going by kind of story milestones. So I think once we get to the next kind of crossroads, we'll throw in a level. I kind of wanted to get the chance for everybody to have a chance to kind of use most of their level 1 skills if possible before adding to it.
Well, I did the math, and we're not level 2 yet anyway, so.
Math. All right, guys. Any questions or anything else? Anything anybody wants to add or do between sessions going forward? Or
I think we may be able to handle some of that stuff either out on the wiki or email. Consider this like just downtime.
yeah, I mean, it'll probably be overnight, so it's not like you're going to have a ton, but you can, everyone will rest up and everyone will be full spells and heals and everything. But if you guys want to have any particular RP that you role playing that you do over the course of the night, definitely put it in, and then I can add it to the wiki, or I can add it to the blog post at the end of it. Anything you guys want to say? I think you all should have edit privileges on those. So if you guys want to embellish anything, or if you read anything and go, oh, wait, no, that's not something I would have done, feel free to correct it. I'm just kind of trying to fill in narrative gaps with, some kind of a embellishment. So, but if you read it and go, oh, I definitely wouldn't have been